Simon, brother Matt, sister Katie, Susie. My confession is going back a good 32 years, if not longer. My dad had an old school friend, Peter, who had emigrated to Australia when I was a baby and had arrived in the UK for 6 months. Peter needed a base for these 6 months, and my dad volunteered me to have Peter use my spare room as that base.
Fine.
Thanks, Dad. I kindly offered to cook Peter an evening meal when he was here, as it seemed silly both of us cooking separate meals. Unfortunately, I thought I'd do a foodie one because it's a foodie Thursday.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Does that mean that...
It's a little bit unpleasant.
Oh, right, okay.
Unfortunately, Peter did not like my cooking and did nothing but complain about my meals whenever I cooked, saying, "Listen, mate, it's too much salt, overcooked. Hey, Shela, this has got this taste. This meat is tougher than a wallaby's tail."
From
This is...
Pretoria, is he? Yeah.
"Oh, look, mate, this is undercooked. This could have done with more gravy. Struth, mate."
Oh, dear.
Peter was a complainer.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Then more annoying remarks began. Peter started telling me that my dog, Ben, got a better dinner than he did. And Ben's dinner smelt a lot nicer. This guy, Peter's
Wow.
This annoyed me a great deal, says Sheila. You can understand why, and played on my mind every time I cook Peter a meal. So I don't know why, but just out of the blue, and for some reason, when I was feeding Ben, my dog, and these big chunks of meat came sloppily out of a large tin, all I kept thinking was, well, Peter says he thinks this smells nice and seems a lot nicer than what I actually cook him. Well, let's put that to the test, shall we? So into a slow cooker, I added diced carrots, onions, potatoes. I added an oxo cube and a few mixed herbs and let the slow cooker do its bit. When it was all cooked, I opened another tin of dog food, just like the one I opened earlier, with nice big chunks of meat. If you saw the dog food scene in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where Brad Pitt opens the can of dog food and drops it whole into the dog bowl, it's a bit like that. I mixed the dog food with the cooked vegetables. I rolled out some short crust pastry, which I already had in the fridge. I made this lovely looking pie, first class, I must say. And when complaining Peter, the whinging Aussie, came home, a lot later than usual, I dished him up his pie. He said, "What pie is it?" I thought, I can't see dog food, pie and vegetables, can I? So I said, "It's beef and vegetables, Peter." Anyway, Peter ate the pie. Couldn't believe it. Did I hear him moan? I did not. I dished it up, and instead, all he said was, "Any chance of any seconds, mate?" "Oh, look, fair dues, decent grub, Sheila," he said. And also... he added challengingly, "You say it's beef? Where did the beef come from, then?" I thought he was getting suspicious, and I said, "Oh, it's Australian beef. It's come from Australia." He grinned contentedly. He thought his point had been made.
Okay.
I got away with it because I didn't eat the pie myself. I told him I'd already eaten early because I was hungry. Peter asked to have the remaining of the pie for his dinner tomorrow, and he said it was the best meal I'd cooked, and so on. I made sure I gave my dog Ben all of Peter's food that night.
Yeah.
How I kept my mouth shut, I don't know. I so much wanted to tell him that I'd given him a dog food pie, being a whinging Aussie. Hey, I've never told anyone this, never told anyone a soul about this cooking monstrosity, but every time I go shopping and pass the pet food aisle and see tins of dog food, I have this great feeling of guilt that comes over me. I feel it was time to confess what I did this evening many years ago, just so I can get this guilt to go away. I feel much better. I'm not sure why I feel bad about it, but I still do. So thank you for your entertainment in the afternoon, says Sheila. Well, thank you very much, Steve, for your confession. Oh, that's enough of that. Anyway, very nice combination of sounds there.
Yes, I enjoyed it.
Smooth.
I mean, so I'm kind of thinking that Peter had it coming, really. If he kept on going on about how much nicer the dog food sounded and tasted and smelt, then why don't you just serve it to him?
Leading the jury somewhat. But
Yes, I am,
anyway.
actually. It's got nothing
I
to
have
do
been
with
influenced.
Sister Katie, Susan.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. I think if that's the thing that made Peter stop complaining, then he seems a pretty happy customer. And also the additions sound quite nice. The pastry, the veg, you kind of went out of your way to still make it quite a nice dinner. So, Sheila, you're forgiven. You need not be stressed.
Dog food pie or nut roast, Matt?
I'll not roast because Nige, I'm sure, is going to startle us with how fabulous it is.
I think you're probably right.
I think I'm going to say that no one is going to be not forgiving tonight. Everyone's going to forgive Sheila because, frankly, the whinging Aussie, had it coming. And who asks anyway? Who asks where the beefs come from? It comes from cows. No one's ever said to me,
Australian cows.
Where did the beef come from? I don't know.
Tastes like home.
Got it in the supermarket. So, yes, forgiven.